The story, set in 1999, is told in flashback. In June 1974, a federal agent, Benjamin Esposito, becomes spellbound by a subsequently entangled in the investigation of the crime of a young woman brutally and murdered inside her house in an apartment. Her widowed husband, bank employee Ricardo Morales, is shocked by the news. Esposito vows to find the killer and bring him to justice. In his ordeal, he is aided by his alcoholic assistant Pablo and a newcomer, the upper class lawyer Irene, who takes over as department chief. Esposito's rivaling partner Romano pins the murder on two immigrant workers so as to get rid of the matter, an issue that enrages Esposito, who attacks Romano. In a fury, he finds a tip soon enough while looking over some old pictures provided by Morales. He comes across a dubious young man identified as Isidoro Gomez, who looks at the victim in a suspicious way in several photos. Esposito investigates the whereabouts of Gomez and determines that he is living and working in the city but fails to locate him. Esposito and Sandoval break into Gomez's household in the city, that is hometown to not only Gomez but also Morales' ill-fated wife. During the illegal search, they steal a set of letters written by the suspect of his mother back to the city. The deed earns them trouble back to the courthouse and neither make anything out their letters. In addition, Gomez remains at a large due to a careless phone call made earlier by Morales, who desperately wanted to apprehend the killer of his wife. In the end, it is Sandoval who comes across a new lead. A fellow drinker in the bar identifies the various names mentioned in the letters as being those of various soccer players of Racing Club. After identifying him as a Racer Club fan, Esposito and Sandoval attend a soccer match where Racing Club plays against Hurricane in the hope of catching Gomez. With the assistance of police officer and his men, they spot him among the crowd, but a sudden goal provides the necessary disturbance for Gomez to slip away. A surreal pursuit ensues in which Gomez nearly vanishes, but he is ultimately knocked down in the middle of the pitch. Esposito and Irene subsequently stage a fake, largely illegal interrogation at the office. They succeed in bringing him to confess the murder by taunting him and hurting his macho pride. Justice seems served, however. Barely a year later, Gomez is released by a spiteful Romano, who is now working for a government agency. Amid increasing political violence, Gomez is said to work as a hitman for the far-right wing. Esposito finds Sandoval shot dead upon arriving home. Sandoval used to pass the night at the house of his co-worker. Due to endless arguments with his wife about his drinking problems, he presumes and imagines that Sandoval was killed by hitmen sent after himself, perhaps under Romano's orders, and the Sandoval posed as Esposito and sacrificed his life for his friend. A budding romance between Benjamin and Irene, the latter, then recently married, is cut short by Sandoval's death and Esposito's ultimate decision to exile himself deep within the countryside with the help of some Irene's relative. After coming back from exile in 1985, Esposito returned to an uneventful career until his retirement. Haunted by the past, he is determined to write his story in novel form. He presents the framework to Irene. Still married and with children, she remains resentful and hardened from the sudden departure 24 years earlier and for apparently never having had her relationship feelings returned by him. Esposito drives to meet Morales, the widower, who has taken quite a life and gradually let go of his obsession with the murder case. Esposito promises him that he will not rest until he can put the convict once again in the jail. A hesitant Morales then confesses to have killing Gomez many years ago, having kidnapped him and shot him in the trunk of his car. A disturbed Esposito leaves, but upon thinking over certain facts, secretly returns to Morales' house. Sneaking inside, he is shocked to find that Morales has a makeshift cell in his home and that he has kept Gomez chained inside for over 24 years as punishment for his wife's death. He kept him alive by feeding him, but not once in 24 years talking to him nor letting him out. Morales repeats what he had maintained in front of Esposito back in 1974, that instead of a death sentence, he believes the boredom of a meaningless life in jail to be true justice. Esposito leaves. He pays a visit to Sandoval's grave, knowing that Gomez will never be a free man again. He finally comes to terms with his life. He visits Irene one more time, where he finally responds to her feelings, their love rekindled. They smilingly shut themselves in her office. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know in the comment section below which movie you want us to recap next. As always, until the next time.